I think we're good to go ahead and start here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. And welcome on in. You might have noticed that we're a little bit earlier than we normally are. Normally we do this every Sunday at 6:30, but I have some stuff that I do have to do this evening. That made me had to like end a little bit earlier than if we started normal. So I figured, you know what, I'll just instead, because I have time, I'll just start a little bit early. And also, it actually kind of works out for the person we're going to be researching today. But before we get into that, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hopefully, and if you're in America, hope you're having a good holiday weekend and that you're able to relax. And hopefully tomorrow is a holiday for you. It is for me, thankfully, but I know it's not for everybody, depending on where you are in the country. But yeah, hope everybody's having a good weekend, able to chill and relax. It's finally starting to feel like fall, thank God. For the longest time, it was like still feeling like summer for so long. It was still being like stupidly warm. And now it's finally like starting to feel like actual fall, and the leaves are starting to change, and it's so nice. I love it so much. Fall is my favorite time of year by far. By far my favorite time of year. Let's see. Oh, yes. One other thing I do want to say is I'm trying out changing a little bit how we're doing ads on the stream. Before I had it set where it was like we got 1 minute ads every 20 minutes. What I think I'm going to change it to is ads. It's going to be 3 minutes of ads, but it's only at the top of every hour. I think that's how we're going to do it, or I'm going to try doing it that way and just kind of see how people feel. And also during those ad breaks, I'll do like, I won't do any more research. I will stop and I'll just sort of take a break, maybe do like a BRB screen kind of thing. And that way people can get up, like walk around a little bit, and kind of figure, like stretch, do all that fun stuff. So they're not just sitting like I have been, which is just like sitting in my chair for God knows way too long. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think there's any other announcements or anything like that. Only other thing is that I might be streaming tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, it is a holiday. It really just depends on how tomorrow afternoon goes. I make no promises. I might be able to do it, but I might not. And if we do stream tomorrow, it would probably be some 2 Point Museum. Yeah. So, with that, I think that's pretty much, everything. So let's go ahead then and let's start getting to our research. So here we are. All right. So with this one, what we're going to be researching today is this. This, in keeping with the Halloween theme, I wanted to do something like I'm sticking with things that I think are kind of like weird and creepy. And I decided to go with this terrifying hospital bed from the 1890s. No, it's a case. No, it is not a torture device. It is a hospital, or as they call it here, an invalid bed, which, that's the term that they used to use for disabled people back in the day. But it really does look like a torture device, so that's why I think it goes with the sort of Halloween theme that we're doing. Yeah. Oh, and also we got our bingo. So hold on, let me go ahead real quick. If you're first time here, we also do bingo as we find stuff and discover stuff during these streams. So let's go ahead and mark our free spot. But yeah, it's basically a design, and from the looks of it, it's like you lay here and you can put this like secure thing over them, this like top part, which is also padded, and it's so that you can rotate them and maybe like, I'm not 100%, we'll learn more as we get through the patent, read through the actual patent. But another reason why I wanted to do this one today is because, like I said, we did start early today because I do have some stuff that I need to do later on, later this evening. But we can still go probably a little bit longer because I am starting this much early, that I can go a little bit longer instead of like 3 hours is normally what I do. We can maybe do like 4.5. And because of that, it can go a little bit longer. As you can see up here, we got 2 people with this patent record. We got Edward C. I'm assuming that's pronounced Souney, and Thomas D. Souney of Sacramento, California. I'm assuming that they're brothers. Just like right off the bat, I'm assuming that they're brothers. But they could be father and son. The only other thing I could think of is that they're cousins, if they're not either of those two, but I'm putting money on the fact that they're brothers. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and see what how they described this totally not a torture device, but this bed. All right. Be it known that we, Edward Charles Souney and Thomas David Souney, citizens of the United States residing at Sacramento, County of Sacramento, State of California, have invented an improvement in invalids' beds, and we hereby declare the following to be a full, clear, and exact description of the same. Our invention relates to a class of beds for invalids, and it consists in the novel invertible rotatable frame. The supports, therefore, the mattress or mattresses, and the novel detachable and adjustable connections between the mattress and the frame, all of which we shall hereinafter fully describe. The object of our invention is to provide a bed in which a perfectly helpless patient may be turned from his back to his face and vice versa, and the mattress on which he has been lying removed on the substitution of an other mattress to receive him in this changed position, thus not only relieving the invalid by a change of position, but affording opportunity to change and refreshen the bed. Referring to the accompanied drawings, Figure 1 is a perspective view of our bed, the second mattress L being shown about to be placed in position. Figure 2 is an end view from the inside, showing the means for fastening and adjusting the side rails. Figure 3 is a similar view from the outside, showing the steadying legs. Figure 4 is an elevation of the hanger screws. Figure 5, the releasing levers. And Figure 6 is a detail of the connection for board M. Okay, so basically, yeah, it's designed so that you can move a person who is, like, incapable of moving themselves in, I guess, kind of a secure way, but it almost, I don't know, I feel like it kind of reminds me of, like, those, like, because it does rotate, it does kind of remind me of, like, those, like, gyroscopic rides you used to see at, like, carnivals and stuff, where you strap somebody inside and just, like, turn them all around. That's what it weirdly reminds me of. But let's see. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and let's get ready to find out who these two people are. The two Sounies. Figure out. I'm putting money on that they're brothers. But they could be They could be father and son. Oh, and which one should I look up first? That's a good question. Let's look up Edward. Just from the fact that I mean, honestly, just the fact that he's listed first. Oops. S-O-U-N-E-Y, S-O-U-N-E-Y, okay. And this is from 1896. So hopefully the 1900 census will have them. Oh god. If only I could remember how to type. Sacramento. Okay, 1896. And search. What was his middle name? Okay, Edward C. So it's not this guy right off the bat. Let's see. 1910. There's a lot of stuff for an Edward C. Souney. And these are all city directories. This one's 1893. Is there another city directory from... Hold on. Directories. Are there any from like, yeah, like roughly 2 years? No. Looks like 1893 is the closest one that we have. Or 1901. So let's look at this one real quick. Okay. Okay. There is a Thomas Souney and an Edward Souney. They're both blacksmiths. Hold on, wait, Oh no, it is C. What did I... It is C. Why was I thinking that it wasn't C? Okay. Look at that. They're both blacksmiths. And there's a Miss Mary Souney, so I'm assuming that's probably their sister. They both are residing at the same place. 2109. I'm assuming P Street? Huh. This is 1893. Okay, hold on. Edward Charles Souney. Yeah, voter registries. Residence 1896. Here we go. Souney. Edward Charles Souney. Thomas David Souney. Hold on. Yeah, Thomas D. That's them. What did they... Age 51, 52. Okay, they have to be brothers. They're brothers. Absolutely. Light... Okay, wait, hold on. Complexion, light complexion, eye color, and then hair color. So eye color, blue and gray, gray and gray. I mean, they are older. They're 51 and 52 at this point. And this is in 1896. He has a scar on his forehead. Interesting. You would think that maybe they would have like more scars because of, you know, being blacksmiths. Hey, Wayward Bard, good to see you. Welcome on in. Probably got injured testing the bed. Maybe. Well, actually, hold on. Wait, when was this? This is 1892 to 1898. Sacramento County. Does this have the year on it? It doesn't. Oh, wait. Down here, maybe? 1890. No, okay, 1896. Oh, yeah, maybe they did. 7th day of October, 1896. 17th of October, 1896. When was this patented? January of 1896. So yeah, maybe, you know. Yeah, so maybe actually he could have. He genuinely could have. Okay, so yeah, so scar on forehead. Both says they're manufacturers. This is interesting. Country of nativity. So even though they're 1 year apart, let's see. They're 1 year apart. So Thomas is 1 year older. But in that 1 year, they're apparently born in different places. Thomas was born in New York, and Edward was born in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and they're both living at the same place. Naturalized citizens. Date of registry. Sacramento. No disability. And of course, an invention of that genius likely took several honestly, probably, yeah. Yeah, you don't... I feel, well, even this specification forming part of patents of letters patent da-da-da-da-da. So this is an add-on, I think, to another patent that they possibly had, just reading that. This is 552, 672, 565, 899. Oh, no, that's just serial number. Okay, no, wait, never mind. I got mixed up, I think. Okay. Okay. So it's there's not a ton because it looks like that name isn't super common. Okay, we have a 1920 census, 1910 census. More city directories. A lot of city directories. It's mostly city directories. A couple... A lot of voter registries for him. Let's figure out if this one is him. This 1881? 35, home, Sacramento. Okay, hold on. Okay, Daniel Souney. Thomas and Edward. Okay, and Leonora. Mary. 70, 75, 78. Labor, helping house, laborer, laborer. Sick. Diphtheria. That's their sister. Birthplace, Ireland. This says that they were born in Ireland. This says that they were all born in Ireland. It also says that Thomas is 3 years older than Edward in this one. What census records do we have for... Looks like 1910 federal census is the only one. Yeah, Thomas and Edward. They're living together. They're brothers. Yeah, this says he was born in New York. He was born in Ireland. Their parents were born in Ireland. Machinist and machinist. Okay. So, yeah. This says Thomas is 55, and this says that Edward is 51. Their ages are changing constantly. Because hold on, when was this? At this voter registry says that they're 51 and 52 in 1896. So like 15 years later, 14 years later, it still says they're in their early 50s. Maybe they lied to save face. But I will admit, that makes it a lot harder for us, because I have no idea what their possible what their possible birth date would be. Okay. Okay, what is this? Edward Charles Souney in Sacramento. Biographical Great Books. Name. Age 26. Date of registry. February 7th, 1871. So by 1871, they're in Sacramento. By 1871, they are in Sacramento. And it's mostly voter lists that we have here. Okay, this one's from 1875. Lost Smiths. Souney. Yeah, Edward Charles Thomas. They're 30 in this one. What years? Does this one have a year on it? I think it said on the thing. Okay, this is from 1875. Yeah, New York, Pennsylvania. Yeah, they're a citizen. Oh, this is the date of when they did it. Okay, there's no other information on here. It's just... Okay, so by 1875... 1871 is the earliest thing we have for them being there. Let's see. That's Edward M. Souney. No, none of those. Where? Wait. Let's look at this 1920 census. Okay, he's living on his own in that same house. This says he's 76. This says he's widowed. Hold on. What does the 1910 census say? The 1910 census says that they're both single. Hold on. He owned the home. Yeah, Pennsylvania. Father's Ireland. Maker? Something? Thrashing? Or threshing? Threshing, okay. This is a lot of inconsistencies. Like, even, yeah, you're right. Like, threshing, yeah, threshing teeth. That's what, you're right, yeah. Threshing teeth. But we know it's the only thing that's making it consistent that we know this is the same person is the fact that it's the same address. 2109 P Street in Sacramento. Because in 1880... In 1880, there's nothing... There's nothing in terms of, like, marriage status or anything in this one. But I'm assuming that they're living... Oh, here, single. Okay, so they are single. I feel like, too, if they... Oh, well, no. Never mind. I for a second was like, well, wait, if they were married, their wives would be on the voter registry. But then I remembered, no, wait, this is before women. This is before the 19th Amendment. Yeah, this is before women's suffrage, long before women's suffrage, unfortunately. So no, they wouldn't be on here. Is this one we already saw? This is from 1882. Smith. Souney. Again, doesn't have anything. Well, okay, we can possibly do a few things on our bingo card. We can do, let's see, more than one census. It looks, I mean, I don't know if I can mark single or widowed or divorced yet, because only that one census record says that they were widowed. We can definitely do city directory. I'm gonna mark unrelated job. Because they were like blacksmiths and machinists. They weren't involved like in the medical field or anything like that. So I'm gonna mark unrelated job for that, I think. I think that counts pretty good. From the looks of it, they were living in Sacramento. They likely weren't farmers. Like, they're in the 1880 census that we found. They're not farmers here. Could we possibly... Hold on. We find their father, maybe? Okay, this is another thing for their father. When they also registered. He was born in Ireland. So he's their father is Irish. Their father and mother are Irish. And 1871 is the earliest we know of them being in Sacramento. And this is, hold on, is this a death record for Daniel? Maybe we can figure out. Born in Ireland, died in Sacramento, October 15th, 1880. 75 years. Dr. Duell. Physis pulmonalis. What is that? Hold on. Let me Google that real quick. Okay. Oh, tuberculosis. It's an old term for tuberculosis. Okay. It's an old like term. It's not it wasn't used. It isn't used anymore, referring to tuberculosis. Okay. So hold on. If he died October 1880, so that means he died not long after this census record. He died not long after the census record. And that also means, I just realized, this Mary Souney that we see in this record is their mother. It's not their sister, it's their mother after their father had passed away. Okay. Let's get back out of here real quick. There's not, like I said, there's not a ton. Okay, let's look at this city director. 1905. Still living at that same place. Souney Bros. It's like the Mario Brothers, but... Oh, Souney Bros, right here. EC and DT. Thresher teeth manufacturers. Okay, so that's specifically what they were doing at that time. They were specifically doing that, and this is 1905. And we saw that referenced in the 1920 census? Yeah, and he was still working 1920. Everything else says that he was born around like 1845, right? Where was it? Yeah, if he's 26 in 1871. $1845. So him being 76 in 1920 is about right. Okay. The question is, other than these city directories, it's mostly city directories. It's mostly city directories and voter registries for him. Oh, here we go. City directory 1922. This is the latest thing I think that we have. Still living in that same house. So this is so far, yeah, the latest thing that we can find with him. Do we have birth, marriage, death? Let's see what we have in terms of that. And let's change it so that, well, Edward E. Souney, marriage, Edward L. Souney. He also is old enough that he, or well, wait, no, 45. He could be a Civil War veteran. He could be. Or his brother could be. Maybe keep it to exactly Sacramento? Is this him? And did they just put it in wrong? 1844. Hold on. Is this him? In Oakland, Edward E. Souney, uncle of Thomas E. Roddy of Sacramento. 82. Native of Pennsylvania, 18 months. Friends are... Is that him? It doesn't... He will be interned in St. Joseph Cemetery. I don't know if that is him. I don't think it is, honestly. It's crazy that there's like almost that there's very little for him beyond voter registries and voter registries and city directories. Oh wait, hold on, what's this? C22 Alameda. Alameda County, so this actually might be, actually maybe it is because okay, Edward C. Inmate of Sisters of the Poor. Is it like a shelter, like a poor shelter? Hold on. Sisters of the Poor. Looks like it is some... Hold on. Let me just look up Sisters of the Poor. There's things for Little Sisters of the Poor. Yeah, it's everything I've seen is like Little Sisters of the Poor. It's like a Catholic group. For impoverished elderly people. So that could be him. He could have, for whatever reason, ended up there. You can see it, yeah, right here. Southern Congregation for Care of the Elderly. So that might be, they just maybe shortened it in this to Sisters of the Poor because they had limited space in the thing. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back here. This is from 1924. Edward Souney. Oakland. Maybe it is him, and they just put it in wrong. Hold on, wait. 2647 East 14th Street. 2647 East 14th Street. So that is the same person. So maybe, okay, so I think that person that we saw in that newspaper was him. They just got his middle name wrong. And maybe he did move there because his only family that he might have had, according to that newspaper article, was his, like, his nephew. The city director from 1901. Yeah, Sony Bros. Yeah, I don't... What's the other, like, later city directory that we have? Because I want to figure out if he actually was married. But it doesn't look like it. Because all the city directories don't say anything. Okay, well, maybe we can find something on his brother. Hold on. Okay, so let's change it to Thomas. And just see what comes up. Maybe more will come up. Oh, okay. We have find a grave. That's good. 1880 Federal. Yeah, we already have that one. Great Book. Okay, so this is his entry in the Great Book from 1871. And this says that he's 29, so he's 3 years... This says that he's 3 years older than his brother. Okay. C directories, C directories. Okay. 1910... Same C directories, more C directories. It's all C directories. It's probably honestly mostly the same stuff as him or as his brother. Because him and his brother are like listed next to each other most of the time. Hold on, let's change it to country. Other than the find a grave. Is there anything from like his time? No. Wow, that's crazy that we have like I thought here I thought that, oh, this is going to be a longer stream because we're researching 2 people, but honestly, it looks like there's not much going on with these 2. Okay, let's look at this find a grave. Maybe that'll lead us somewhere. Okay. There's no picture of his grave. (1843) 1910 burial St. Joseph Cemetery in Sacramento. Okay, it has like a plot information and everything, so I'm assuming it actually does exist. Let's see. Hey, Pirate, good to see you. Welcome on in. We are currently trying to research these 2 brothers who invented this terrifying looking bed that honestly looks like a torture device. What time do you call this? Oh, no, it's like late afternoon, early evening. I'm starting, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I'm starting earlier because I do have something I have to do this evening. So that I can't go as long as I normally do. So I started a little bit early. And my initial thought was like, oh, I'm starting early. I can do this one where it's like 2 people and I'll have a little bit more time, you know, I'll have a little bit more time to like research 2 people. But it turns out we're finding like almost nothing on these 2. Living the party life, you know me, totally. Just going out and just going crazy. Living that absolute, you know, party life on a Sunday. Okay, so that grave doesn't really... Okay, so we have him, and we have his mother. His mother is listed here in the same, roughly the same plot. But that's all only he has a grave. Let's see, hold on. Let's see if Edward has a grave. And I'm just going to put California because I'm assuming... Wow, no, but nothing. What if we get rid of... Edward L. Souney? No. Edward L. Souney? No. What if we just do Souney? Wow, so in all of the United States, there's only 24 graves with the last name Souney. Edward L., Elizabeth Ann, Everett, Frederick R., George, John, a couple Johns. Oh, wait, was Daniel here? No, there's no Daniel. Because Daniel Souney is their father. Nora, Ruth, Thomas, okay. And William. And they're mostly in... Okay, there's Mary and Thomas here. All the other Sounies are in Connecticut. This one's from Northern Ireland. Connecticut. Okay, that one's Pennsylvania. But almost all of them are from Connecticut. Huh. Okay. For our bingo, I'm actually going to go ahead. It's hard when it's two people. It's hard to do the bingo thing when it's two people because it seems like they were both single and they both had no kids. Just from looking at all this. We might have found an obituary for one of them, but I'm not 100% sure. For no grave, one of them apparently does have a grave, but the other one doesn't. So I'm hesitant to mark that one. It doesn't look like they were farmers. It is possible we could get the house still exists one, but we'll do that in a second. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's go back. Maybe, what if we search? Okay, hold on. Their birth year was 1843. Was he New York? Was Thomas New York? Hold on. Yeah, Thomas was New York. And let's just see if anything, if that helps narrow things down or changes anything. No, just more of these voter registries. Death index, which I don't think really gives us any new information than what we already know. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really give us any new information. Voter registries. Yeah, this is the... That's the 1880 census that we already saw. Oh, hold on. Patents. that's Connecticut City Directories. But is this patent the one that we're already looking at? I think this might be the one that we're already looking at. Yep. Yep, this is the one that we're already looking at. So we already got this. Okay, this is just the other page of that same record. So that, again, there's nothing new here. Okay. Okay, let's... Because it is possible, let me pull up Fold 3 real quick. Let's see. Okay. Let me pull up. Here's Fold 3. Let's just see. And judging by the fact that Souney was not a common name in America, hopefully there won't be that many we have to deal with. Okay, so the only thing here is World War I and World War II. Okay, there is an Edward Lawrence. Yeah. Oh, wait, what's this? Daniel Oh! 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 This is something. Rock Hill and Wilson. Wait, this is a... City Directories of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What year? 1867. Yeah, Daniel, Edward, and Thomas. Look at that. Another thing for them. Wow, okay. We actually found something. Okay, hold on. So if they were living in Pennsylvania in 1867... That's right, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Is there anything for... Oh, wait, yeah, here it is. That C directory for... This is the one. Yeah, this is it. Marshall in... Hold on. Marshall in Souney. Did he have his own business? But it's spelled wrong. Sounay. Hold on. Hold on. What is this one? 1910. Arbitrary place. Oh, okay. Funeral of Thomas T. Souney, who died in the city yesterday, will take place from the residence of the seat of the C's 2109 P Street and from St. Francis Church, 26 and K Streets tomorrow afternoon. Was a native of Philadelphia. Okay, so that's where, yeah, because this thing says he was born in Pennsylvania. Okay. But nothing else. I don't think anything else changed. I think it's just literally that same city directory. It's just we got one new thing. We know that they were living in New York and Philadelphia. So because he was born in New York, so what probably happened is that they were living in New York, or well, their parents immigrated. They probably stayed in New York for a little bit after they immigrated, whenever they immigrated. Their first son, Thomas, was born there. Then they moved to Philadelphia, and that's where Edward was born. That's what it looks like the timeline is. But let's go ahead. Let's see if Thomas is anywhere in here. William Thomas Souney, no. And this is that same city directory, so no, it's not him. Let's do Daniel and see if we have anything. Nope, that same one. Nope. Yeah, these guys did not live a big record. Okay, if Daniel's not here, did I? Hold on, did I try looking up? Let's look up Daniel. He was born, hold on, we have a thing from him, right? This one? No, that's Edward's. Edward. Okay. He was 68 in 1871. And he died... Okay, wait. He was 75 in 1880. So he was born roughly 1805. Roughly. he was from Ireland. Oh wait, no. His birth was Ireland. And he lived... Let's do the Philadelphia. And just see if maybe that helps narrow it down. Oh, okay, hold on. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, church and town records. Okay, what is Charles? Are these people who were born in 1856? Hold on. I don't see him. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. Daniel and Mary. Philadelphia Saving Fund Society. Philadelphia. And something. Daniel and Mary, and that says and something, and But what is this? The Philadelphia Saving Fund Society. Event type residence. Philadelphia? Hold on, let me Google that real quick. See if anything comes up. Philadelphia Saving Fund Society. Oh, it's a bank. I guess that makes sense. Hold on. The Philadelphia Savings Fund Society, originally called Philadelphia, was a savings bank headquartered in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of the largest savings banks in the United States, and became a Philadelphia institution. Generation of Philippines first opened accounts as children and became lifelong depositors. Okay, yeah, so it's just a... Yeah, it's just a... It's a bank. The way it made it sound was that, like... It made it sound like it was, like... I thought it was, like, some sort of, like, charity society or something like that. But no, okay, so this is basically a bank account. I wonder if the numbers... What do the numbers mean? Is it like an ID number, or is it how much... Or is it like how much they had in the account? I don't know. That's... Is this the same thing? This other one? Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, Mary, okay. Daniel Same in trust for Southwest 22nd Locust Street, laborer. Okay, so this is just an account number, it looks like. The 90. Yeah, okay, so that's what these are. That's what these are. Okay, no, wait, I think I get it now. Okay. I think I get it now. Oh, okay. I figured it out. Okay, so this number right here, 98,278. When it has the 83 right here, that's saying that this is 98,283, which is what their account number is here, 83 and 84. That's what those numbers. And then so this one right here, the Stuart Edward one, it's 98,315 is the account. Okay, now I figured it out. Wow, that is such a crazy way to do it. I guess it saves a little bit on space. Okay. So they had, all we know then, extra information we got from that is that they had an account there. California voter registries. CNC directories, and that's it. Okay, so that didn't give us any more information. Okay, let me pull up family search. I highly doubt there is going to be anything for family search with them on it because none of them had kids. They don't have any like descendants, so it's very unlikely they have something in family search, but it's worth a shot at least. Just go ahead and sign in real quick. Okay. So let's try Edward. Souney. Okay. So here we go. Okay. This is the right person. Is it attached? Okay, this is the census record we saw, but is it attached to a tree? Some records, California Great Registers. Already saw those. Oh, hold on. Okay. Does this have anything? Okay, parents and siblings. No, the only thing that it... Wow, that's the only record it has here. Is the 1880 census, which we already have. And then... Hold on. Thomas also only has the one source. Their dad have any? Or is it just... They're only using... They're only using that one census to make this record. So just as I thought, there's not going to be probably anything. Voter registration. Edward Lawrence. We know that's not him. Yeah. Obituaries event date 1902. Let's name Hoffman. Wait, female relative. Was that who she married? Hold on, because they do have a sister, according to the 1880 census. Leonora. Is it Lena? Because why else would Thomas be listed there? Charles Hoffman? Hold on, wait. There was that... Oh, wait, no, that's not this one, but there is that other census record. Hold on. Not census record. There was that other obituary for Edward. Okay. Here you go. This one. Who did it say was the name? It says Oakland. Oh, Thomas E. Roddy of Sacramento, granduncle of Mrs. William T. Canty, and Charles A. Hoffman of Oakland. Yeah, those are some of the people listed here. We have... Yeah, Roddy is the name. Charles Roddy. And Hoffman. Hold on. Let's look up their sister, actually. Hold on. Hold on. How is it spelled? Leo. Is it Leo or Leah? We know birth. We know they lived in Sacramento. Yeah, let me change to Leo. Oops, that's a 0. Really? Hold on, wait. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me just go to the actual census record real quick. There's nothing else here. Well, hold on. Yeah, she's 42. Hold on. If she's 42... And she's single. Okay, wait, so she's single too. It's very... Okay, never mind then. Maybe she didn't get married. Because if she's single at 42, it's not impossible, but I feel like for the time it's more unlikely that she didn't get married or have kids. Because, hold on. Uncle of Thomas E. Roddy of Sacramento. So if Edward Souney is this person's uncle, and granduncle of Mrs. William T. Canty and Charles A. Hoffman. If he's granduncle, that means it would be Thomas Roddy's kids, right? Or somebody else who also, because like, hold on. This is getting confusing. Trying to figure out how these... Maybe they were just trying to find like any relatives because he had none. Well, maybe we can find it. Okay. I think the only other thing I want to do before we get into newspapers is let's see if we can find some of these buildings that are referenced in some of these places. Okay, so for majority of their life, the two of them lived in this house at 2109 P Street. Okay, and let's go ahead. So 2109 P Street. Okay, where is that? Okay, so it is kind of like in the more like central downtown part of Sacramento. So it doesn't look like it's there anymore. Looks like it's a parking lot. Okay. So that's gone. Were there any other... So he was still living there in 1920, right? Yeah, he was still living there in 1920. Where were they living? That's 2700. L Street? $2,700 L Street. Doesn't look like it's there anymore either. It's a church. Huh. Okay, it's a church. Hold on. Double check. That is 2700, right? Yeah, 2,700. Okay. So, okay. City directories. I think all the city directories are going to be, yeah, 2109p. Okay, this one. Okay, this is when Edward is moving now in Oakland. 2647 14th Street. Okay, so 2647 East 14th Street. 2647 East. 14th. Oakland. Been making chili powder today, and now my hands are on fire. Oh no! Oof. I hope it's not too bad. That sounds rough. Hope your hands are feeling better. Maybe pour, I don't know, just stick them. I hear milk helps. Just stick them in a vat of milk, in a gallon of milk. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, no, I can't. Oof, I cannot handle chili or just any type of spice, really. So you're doing a lot better than I probably could handle it. Okay, so it doesn't look like this house exists anymore either, because it's the, like... It's like the industrial... It's like the port. It's like Port of Oakland. Has the port always been there, or is it... Huh. Because, I mean, yeah, 14th Street. Huh. That's so weird that the street they still have the street continuing on this part, even though it's literally, like, in the middle of, like, this, like, container storage area. Okay, well, okay, so it doesn't look like that one exists anymore either. What about that city directory from Philadelphia? 2145 Locust. It's all the chilies we grew this year. Some were a lot hotter than we expected because of the cross-pollination. Oh wow, that's awesome though that you're able to grow your own. Do you grow other things or just the chilies? Because that's really awesome that you can have your own cool little garden. Gardening is one of those things that, like, I feel like I could maybe get into, but I'm afraid that I would just, like, accidentally let all the things die. Like, I would forget about it, and then, like, the plants would just not survive. Wait, no. Okay, so 2145 Locust. 2145 Locust. Locust Street, Philadelphia. Oh? Which one is 2145? This one? We moved them to my nan's. Oh, okay. She's taking a love to looking after them. It's too cold to have them outside, so have them inside all year round. Okay, I mean, hey, that's a good way to do it, you know? If it works. has like a little like interior greenhouse. Doesn't the number isn't on the thing. So this says that it's this right here. So this could be it. Okay. So the only thing though is that it looks a lot nicer than judging by the for like a laborer blue collar family. But maybe it wasn't in 17 or in 1867. Yeah, that is true. It could also have been renovated as well. So maybe, okay. Hold on. Let's pull up our good friend Zillow. And let me put in that address. No, hold on. Hold on. 2145. Okay, hold on. I can't find the exact address on Zillow. This is it, right? Hold on. Between 22nd and 21st, according to this. So it should be... Is that it? 2143. Okay, well this one... God, it's $2 million. Ooh, I don't think it was that when they were living there. Okay, this says built 1905. So maybe these are newer. I think these are newer because this one, it says this one, which is 2143, which is this one. Actually, wait, is that the... Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, these are newer. If this one's 1905, I'm assuming the other ones next to it are probably going to be around the same time. Because this one, okay, this one we don't know. Yeah, this one next to it is also built 1905. Yeah, so I think, yeah, these were... Wow, geez, that's crazy how expensive these are. Ugh. Okay, yeah, so 1905, so they're not... So they're not actually probably the same. They're not the same houses that they would have been living in. So we have no houses from these guys that still exist. And when that happens, that means we have to go ahead and go into what's it called? We have to go into our good old Sanborn maps. Okay, first let's start with Sacramento. And there are definitely going to be some for Sacramento. Okay, let's try and go for... Is there one like 1900? Orange mouth of Elk Grove, Sacramento County. No, that's not what we want. We have one. Okay, 1910 to 1919. Okay, 1911. Oh, these are all like Sacramento County places. Sacramento County, Sacramento County, Sacramento County of Sacramento. So the only one we have of actual Sacramento. Hold on. Yeah, that's the oldest one that we, the oldest one that we have. Which, I mean, we know the building was still there because it's in the 1920 census, so I think it's what we just have to work with. Okay. Okay, let's look at this. See if we can figure out. Okay, hold on. So we want... Okay, that's Capitol Grounds. What's... Okay, where exactly? Okay, between 21st and 22nd Street. Between... Okay, M Street and P Street. 10th. Okay, so we have to go to the other... we have to go to Volume 2, because it stops right before where we want. So, we want Volume 2. M and OP, okay. So, 21st, right? Oh yeah, between 21st and 22nd. First, 22nd. So it's probably going to be on 123. Okay, so 123. Let's see. It's page 24. Okay, so 120, so 120, so page 27 then? Okay, 123. Okay. O Street, P Street, 20, here it is. 2109. Oh, and look at this. In the back, 2109, machine shop, electric... That's it. Look at that. That's definitely them. To have both that and the machine shop behind behind the house. Look at that. So yeah, the house was there. But unfortunately, I don't think anything from that time period is... Except for maybe these houses? Maybe their employer owned the house as well. I don't think it was their employer. Well, because they were self-employed. Because this... Where is it? The city directory... Not this one. I have like a million city directories. There was the one city directory... Or couple that we found. There we go. Yeah. Souney Bros. Souney Bros. Threshing teeth manufacturers. And that's the address. So they were self-employed. They had their own... had their own manufacturing business specifically for threshing teeth is what they made. And so that right there is where they probably did it. '21, '23, 21, 21, 23, 21, 25, 21, 29. Hold on. So these three buildings right here might be these? Actually, no. 21, 23 is apparently this one, and that looks more like that than any of these. So I think these three lots have been like merged into these two. Or these two have been merged, and this one's still the same. It's a little hard to tell. Must have made decent money. I mean, it seems like they were okay. It's hard to tell, you know. As of right now, it's hard to tell exactly how wealthy they were. I think they were successful. I don't think they were like struggling, but I think they were more kind of like they were probably like, you know, what we would be consider like, you know, like kind of like middle class, you know. But look at that, we found a Sanborn map. So actually we can mark that on our bingo. Is that on here? Sanborn map. And we couldn't get house still. We could not get house still exists, unfortunately. I was hoping we could get that one. And where was that? Okay, hold on. What was the address for that other one? 27 L Street. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back to page 1 here. Actually, wait, no. It wasn't page 1. It was probably like page 3. Nope. Page 4. Come on. There we go. Okay. 2700. Between 27th and 28th Street. 27th and 28th Street. Okay. There's... Okay, 27th... 27th and 28th Street. And it was L? Yeah. L Street. Oh yeah, right in front of Sutter's Fort State Historic Park. Sutter's Fort is right here. Okay, so 120. Oh, so close. Next page. Okay, there's the fort. 2700. Tuesday club host. Okay, this says that there's nothing here. Hold on. $2,700, $2,900. L Street. Hold on. Doesn't look like there's really much around here. Yeah, there's like nothing there. Huh. Maybe they, I mean, by 19, I mean, it was 35 years later, so maybe they tore it down, you know, by that point. I wonder, is there anyone backing up all the information we have in the modern age into a non-digital format that's more likely to last into the future? I mean, the problem with that, unfortunately, Pirate, is that there is so much digital stuff, like in terms of like digital things that are like born digital. Like when I say born digital, I mean things that like have no physical, that never had a physical version of themselves. There is so much of it being created that making, like, say, like, for example, just like printing out of like copies of it would take so much space and resources that like it would be so, it'd be so hard. And that's the big debate that everybody's having right now, honestly, in preservation and like the museum field and stuff, is how do we preserve this stuff, especially stuff that's born digital, and especially with technology changing so fast that we don't really, like, it's such an unknown right now of like how exactly we do it. Because if we keep constantly changing things into like the newest format, the current format of the day, eventually that format is going to go out of style. For example, back in the day, back in like, you know, the 80s and stuff, museums and archives spent tons of money converting some of, like, you know, their film reels that they had to VHS tape. Yes, exactly, Pirate. You just said, yeah, VHS tape. But now, all this time later, after spending all that time and all that money on converting all that stuff, it's obsolete now. And now it's almost really, it's difficult to even play those VHS tapes to begin with. Also, VHS tapes are not super strong and preserve really well compared to, I think CDs and stuff like that are better, to my knowledge. CDs and stuff like that are better and will last longer. But yeah, but a lot of it is we just don't know, because these technologies are so new that we just don't know. And are we going to spend like, you know, all of this money and all this time converting into like a new format that we think is the new thing, but in like a decade or two will be obsolete? So right now, a lot of museums are trying to create, like, preserve like digital things in formats that will last for a long time and will be able to be opened consistently for a long time, like TIFFs and JPEGs and stuff like that. CD-ROT is becoming a thing. Look it up at its scale. Yeah, no, CDs, yes. Yeah, CDs aren't impervious, but yes, they do break down. Everything breaks down. And then it also becomes an issue of, there's also an issue of like, yes, you can store the stuff on this material like CDs, VHSs, and stuff like that, but then do you have the technology to then play it, to extract the information? A lot of museums and archives, you know, don't even have VHS players anymore, or TVs, to watch them. Like, there was a museum that I worked at where we had a huge oral history collection that a majority of it is on VHS tapes. And if somebody and thankfully the museum was very good at. They had a good digitization contract with a third party where they were able to get a large majority of it digitized, and I think they're still digitizing some of it because it's a really big collection. But if somebody wanted to go to that museum and look at a VHS tape that isn't wanted to see a VHS tape that hadn't been digitized yet, I don't think they have a VHS player in their like archive reading room where someone would be able to see it. Like it just becomes, and it just sits there and takes up space, and it's like we can't do anything with it anymore. I've seen CDs where the laminate layers are separate. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, like depending on how they're stored, where they're stored, you know, it can be really scary. And yeah, so that's the issue right now. Yes, Pirate, you're exactly right there. You're exactly right. They might not want people viewing it pre-digitized due to risk of breakdown the tape. Yes, 100%. Yes, because especially with VHS tapes, every time you watch it, you wear down the tape, and you risk tearing it when you take it out, or just something going wrong. I had that with a VHS tape I had watched as a kid, where like I accidentally pulled the tape out like before it fully properly ejected, and it like tore the tape, and I couldn't watch that I don't remember what it was, but because this was such a long time ago. But yeah, no, that's another issue too, is that they don't want some of these tapes to be. Well, I know some places back in the day, what they did was they would create copies of VHS tapes where they would have the master copy, which is the original VHS tape. And then they would copy that and make a user copy. So you'd have two copies of the same VHS tape, and the user copy is the one that you use for people who want to see it. You use that one, and that one will break down that one, but the original is still not being used, and the original is still better preserved. But a lot of, as things are being digitized, a lot of museums are just tossing their user copies, because there's no point in keeping a user copy if you've digitized the master, and the digital version is available, for people to see. So yeah, that's a huge thing going on in museums and archives right now, of just how do we preserve this stuff, and how do we make sure that it lasts long. Ooh, yeah, you got me rambling about preservation and museum stuff. That's the stuff that keeps me up awake at night, is how is the stuff that we're creating today going to last so that people 100 years from now can do what I'm doing right now with these maps, Cool. Hey Coco, good to see you. No, you're not really late. I started early today. I have to do some stuff later tonight. So you're perfectly fine. Some big things to think about. Oh yeah, and we're thinking a lot about it. But yeah, just to quickly catch you up to speed. We were researching the inventors of this terrifying hospital bed from the late 1890s. It turns out it was invented by two brothers, Edward C. Souney and Thomas D. Souney from Sacramento, California. And we cannot find much on these guys. There is very little information on these guys in general. We have some city directories and like a handful of census records. Like only 3 census records. And that's it. We only have a grave record for one of them, for Thomas. We don't have one for Edward, and that's it. Yeah. I had to hold data for 10 years for legal reason, and it was a nightmare it kept me up sometimes at night wondering if it was still working. And say, thankfully, that period is long over now. Oof. Yeah, no, exactly. That is the big debate. Actually no, I had to one time at work at one of the museums I worked at. I had to copy a CD from like the late 90s or no, mid 90s actually. A CD that had like family records on it that had been donated to us from this one family, like scanned copies of like documents. And I don't even remember what the file formats were. They were like, I had never heard of them before, and we had no way to open them. There was like no way to like, we had no program or anything like that, like to properly open them. It's just, yeah, stuff like that is what's going to be really interesting in the next 20, 30 years. Is it to help turn patients? Nothing medical. Yes, it is to help like turn patients and stuff like that. Like, stuff like that. But it really does look almost like a medieval torture machine, just with how it's built. And no, nothing medical. It turns out the two guys who made it, they were blacksmiths and machinists. Let's see. Yeah, so they had a company called Souney Bros, and they were thresher teeth manufacturers. Well, at least this is a later one. This is from 1905. In the 18, where is that census record? Or what's the voter registry? Either way, we did have another record that said that they were, around this time when they filed this patent, they were blacksmiths. We still have 5.25-inch floppy disks in our collection. Can't read them. Can't get rid of them. Yes. Oh yeah. I've worked at museums that we have those too. And yeah, technically, legally, unless you go through the deaccession process, you can't get rid of them. You have to keep them, taking up shelf space. Yeah, that's... Oh, also apps required for everything that link to data that won't work without the authorization from the app. Oof, yeah. Oh yeah, all of that is rough. I do see that we have an ad starting soon. And so I'm actually going to use that time real quick before we get into looking at newspapers. I'm going to take just a quick break. Hold on real quick. And I don't have a BRB screen, so I'm just going to put this back up real quick. So don't go anywhere. I'm just, while the ad's going, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly, and you do this too. You can get up, get some water, stretch. We've been doing this for a little bit. But yeah, I'll see you guys in just a few minutes real quick. Welcome back. I think the ad should be, yeah, ad should be ending now. So let's go ahead and let's get back into it. So, all right, I think we've found everything that we can find in terms of like ancestry and stuff like that, in terms of things like census records and city directories and stuff like that. We did find one grave for them, but like it's so funny how like I thought like, oh, it's 2 people, it'll take more time, we can go for like 4 hours this time, and now it's like, oh no, there's actually really not really not that much here for this one. So let me go ahead. Let's go ahead then and let me pull up the newspaper search database. Okay, and we did already find these 2 newspapers, these 2 kind of obituaries. Again, this is for a Thomas D. Souney, which I think is just a mistake, because it would be Thomas C. Maybe they just grabbed the wrong the wrong letter in the when putting it in the press, in the printing press. Because C and D, they're right next to each other probably. And then this one for Edward Souney. But again, this middle name is also wrong too, because it's E, right? And his middle name was... Wait. Hold on, wait. Oh, I'm getting them mixed up. Hold on. Edward is E. Thomas is... So, no, the Thomas one is right. Jesus. Sorry, okay, no. Sorry, I got them mixed up. It's confusing when you're working with 2 people at the same time. With the same last name. Okay, no, so the Edward one, this one is wrong. It's E, but it should be C. Which, could have easily just, like I said, been a mistake. Okay. But let's see if we can find anything else here. So let's try Edward Souney. And let's just try California. And we know he was there around 1871, so let's just do 1870. I mean, if they weren't that big, maybe like in 1926, I think, is when he died. Okay. Hold on. Okay, sort. Oldest first. Okay. Okay, Sacramento B, which does make sense. So I think this should cover like his whole time that he's here. Because the oldest thing we have is from 1882. Let's see. Bills allowed. Adjournment. The following bills are ordered paid and the board adjourned. Edward Souney, $23. What is this for? Is this just Board of City Trust? So, okay, so he owed that much to the city. He owed $23, which in 1882 was a decent amount of money. Okay. Okay, here we go. What's this one? 1885. There's a big jump here. It goes 1882, 1885, and then 1896. Oh, California inventors. Patents were issued to the residents of California today. Edward E. Souney, Sacramento. Thrashing cylinder. Okay. So they had more than one patent. Hold on. We can mark that in our bingo. Do we have more than one patent? The one time we don't have more than one patent in our bingo. Okay, but hold on. Let me pull up Google Patents real quick. Let me pull up. Let me see. Edward. Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta put it in quotes. Edward Souney. Really? Okay, how about just Souney? And sort by oldest. This one, 1931. That's weird. That, like, it doesn't show... They don't show up. Hold on, what if I get rid of the quotes? That's weird. When you just look up their last name, it doesn't come up. Okay, hold on. Hold on. This is probably not going to work. Because this search engine isn't great. What if I change it to Thomas? No. Okay, what if I just... What if it's just this last name? Okay, 2018. Yeah, 1934 is the oldest thing. That's so weird. Okay, so we can't find the patent record for these other ones, but we know they had other patents. Which is good to know. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they were doing other things other than just... And the thrashing cylinder is, you know, makes sense for what their job was. And this was a year before they filed the other patent. Let's see. Souney. In this city, June 26, 1896, Miss Mary Souney. Okay, that's her mother. Mother of Thomas and Edward Souney of this city. Miss E.A. Roddy of San Francisco. And John Souney of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They have another brother. A native of Ireland, age 80 years. To live in San Francisco papers, please copy. Funeral notice hereafter. They have another brother. There's a John Souney out there. Okay, and Mrs. E.A. Roddy. So, okay. This is actually really helpful. This helps us a lot. They have another brother. I wonder if older or young. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it actually kind of makes sense that there would be another sibling that we wouldn't know about. Because the earliest census we have is... Uh, 1880. When Edward and Thomas are 35 and, well, at least according to this, they're 35 and 38. I think that might be a little bit off. But still, they're in their mid to late 30s here. So there easily could be other siblings that moved out. And also this daughter right here, Leonora, she might not necessarily be Miss E.A. Roddy. She could be a different sibling. It's not impossible, but it could be. But yeah, they have another brother. Okay. Wow, that was... Okay, a lot of these look like are the same... This is the same thing, just in a different newspaper, I think. Yeah. John Souney of Philadelphia and grandmother... Grandmother of Miss Mary Roddy, Miss Leah Hoffman, and Charles and Thomas Roddy of San Francisco. Oh my god, there's a Charles and Thomas Roddy. So that means whoever Miss E.A. Roddy is had two kids named Charles and Thomas, named after her brothers. Thank God they didn't have the last name Souney, because that would have made this way more difficult. It is really... Yeah, you're right, Coco. That is really sweet, though, that it shows that they had a great relationship. If they named two of her kids after her brothers. But yeah, E.A. Roddy. Okay. That is very helpful. That's the same one. That's the same one. That's the same one. Is this different? Mr. Editor Union. Dear Carnus, we take this means of returning our sincere thanks to our very many friends for their kindness and sympathy of our late bereavement. Very respectfully yours, Thomas D. Souney, Edward C. Souney, Miss E.A. Roddy. Let's see. What is this one? Souney. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, here we go. Now it goes up to 1902. Hoffman. Okay, hold on. In this city, February 17th, Leah, beloved mother of Lola and Charles Hoffman, beloved daughter of Miss E.A. Roddy, loving sister of Mary, Thomas, and the late Charles Roddy. Okay, wow. Okay, so Charles... Okay, and niece of Thomas and Edward Souney of Sacramento, native Philadelphia. Okay. So the Lena Hoffman. Okay, yeah, and Lola. Okay, so it is... Okay, so Lola is probably a nickname. If I had to guess, Lola is probably a nickname for Leonora. If I had to guess... Or again, it could be a different sister that we didn't even know about. It's entirely possible that it could be a completely different sister. But we have her first name now, at least, which is great. Lola. Lola Hoffman. Charles Hoffman. Hold on. Lola Hoffman. We have no idea what her birth date is. We just know her spouse is Charles. Hold on. Oh wait, hold on. Should I put... Hold on. No. San Francisco. Because we know they were living in San Francisco. Nebraska, Indiana. There's a lot of stuff with Indiana. Lola Hoffman. Lola B. Hoffman. Lola Manning Hoffman. We don't know a middle name, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no. What am I... It's not... Hold on. I think I'm getting mixed up. Hold on. No, wait. No, I'm getting it mixed. No, that's not... Lola isn't her... Lola is this Lena's daughter. It's E.A. Roddy that I need to look up. I got that mixed up. God, there's so many... John E. Roddy. No. Oh boy. Hold on. We know... Hold on, wait. We know... Hold on. Again, trying to... Okay, hold on. Beloved mother of Lola and Charles Hoffman. Mother of Lola and Charles... Okay, so... Lola and Charles Hoffman. Beloved daughter of Miss... So Lena is her daughter. Lena is Roddy's daughter. Hold on, so... Lena. See if that narrows it down. I'm just getting all these with E's and like the middle name. Until I think I can figure out what their first name is. Or hold on. Leonora? Well, let me get rid of that. If it is Leonora... Leonora. Dang. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe there'll be more clues later. Okay, February 18th. I think this is the same. Why do people have to always have initials? uh... Oh, wait, hold on. What if Mary, Thomas, and Charles are all... Hold on. Okay, wait. Charles Roddy was living in California, at least. California. Do we have sibling? We don't have sibling on here. Okay. Charles Neil Roddy. Charles Boyer Roddy. He was dead by... because he had died. He was dead by 1902. So he died before 1902. Okay, hold on. This might be it. San Mateo County. Okay, wait. Yeah, California. Charles E. Roddy. Hold on, wait. Let's look at this. Federal census. Hold on. Elnora A. Mary. Okay, Mary C. That's daughter. Lenora. Charles Tom. Okay, this is him. So, Elnora A. Roddy. But this says that he's widowed in 1880. What if... Okay, this is a theory right now. Okay, what if all of these kids... There's somebody else, because he's widowed here. He's widowed here. These are somebody else's kids. And then... whoever Miss... Because that's 1880. That's the 1880 census. Whoever is... Miss E.A. Rhodey is the stepmother. Whoever Miss E.A. Rhodey is in this case is the stepmother. Okay. Elnora A. Elnora. I never would have guessed that name in a million years. Okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's look at marriage. Marriage 1916, no. Miss Elnora. Birth about 1917, no. Ohio. No, nothing. Yeah, the marriage 1916, that's too late. Because Hold on, wait. Okay, we know that they're married by 1896. By 1896, they're married. Yeah, so it has to be before 1900, and none of these are. None of these are before that, except for maybe this one? Spouse. No. Huh. Okay, well maybe that's something we can put a pin in that, and we can look in the newspapers and see if we can find a marriage record in the newspapers. Okay, so yeah, so this is all talking about that death here in 1902. Then we jump ahead to 1910. Okay. And this is for Thomas. Yeah. This is one of his obituaries for Thomas, brother of Edward C. Souney of this city, John D. Souney of Philadelphia, and Miss E.A. Roddy of Oakland, uncle of Thomas Rudy and Mary C. Roddy, and grand uncle of Lola Canty and Charles Hoffman, a native of Philadelphia. Friends are respectfully invited to attend the funeral Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock from 2109 P Street, thence to St. Francis Church, 26 and K Streets, where the funeral services will be held, commencing at 2:30 o'clock. Interment St. Joseph Cemetery. And that is the cemetery that's in... Yeah, St. Joseph Cemetery. He is there. There's no photo, but according to this record, he is there. I think that's what all these are. Yeah, these are all just... Or these two are just the same... Yeah. The same one. December 27th, 1913. Roddy. Okay, hold on. In this city, December 20th, 1913, Mary C., loving daughter of Eleanor Roddy, sister of Thomas E. Roddy, niece of Edward Souney. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Am I just dumb and like... Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm an idiot. I for some reason saw that Eleonora... I don't know what... Why did I think that Eleonora was a man's name? So Eleonora... Okay, so Eleonora is a sibling, is another sibling that we just didn't know about. Eleonora is the name of the sibling. God, wow. Oof. That is a huge oversight by me right there. I would have made this a lot simpler. So yeah, so wait, hold on. So Eleonora... Hold on, wait a second. So Eleonora... But again, none of these records are that. What's the sibling count now? So as of right now, it seems like there's 5. So according to this 1880 census, we have 3 listed here. We have Thomas and Edward, who we already knew, and then Leonora. So that's 3. And then according to this, there's Miss E.A. Rohde of San Francisco, and John Souney. So that's 5. Because I don't know what happened. Leonora just kind of disappears after this 1880 census. That's the only record I can find of her. Like, that's it. So as of right now, there are 5 known kids. Hold on, let me get rid of some of these tabs. So that way I have a bit more space. Things that I don't need anymore. So that way I can get this figured out. Okay. Okay, so what if I look up Eleonora Souney? Is that how it's spelled? Elnora? Yeah, Elnora. I just realized, yeah, she's a dressmaker. And she's 43 in 1880. Yeah, that puts her at about... Because this is the 1880 census, so it's the same census as this one. So yeah, and they're both living in Sacramento. Okay. Yeah, and the age is about the same. She's so Eleanor so far is the old. Like, looks like, I don't know how old John is, but John is the oldest. Or sorry, Eleanor is the known oldest right now. Because if she's 43, her other sister Lenora was 42. Yeah, so she's the oldest. But there's nothing in terms of Elnora Souney. Elnora and... Hold on. Roddy. Hold on. That is not her. Okay, yeah, that's a census record that we already saw. That's not her because the date's not right. She would have to be older. Yeah. Yeah, they are very fancy names. I know, okay. That's Morton Francis. No. Yeah, it's not her. Yeah, there's... Okay, hold on. City directory. Actually, wait, yeah. What city directories are there? Okay, 1952, no. Port Arthur, Texas, no. Port Arthur, Texas. Yeah, I don't think the Texas one is her, because she's living Isn't it according to the census record around that time she's living in, or well, she was living in, yeah, she's living in Oakland. So she's living in Oakland. Living daughter of Elnora Roddy. Okay. Okay. So I think these are all, yeah, these are all the same thing. Okay, what's this one? 1814. Summons an action to quiet title of real property in Sacramento City. Oh wait, what is this? Hold on. I've never heard of the state of California. California must be a new state. That's what they're going to call it when, you know, they always talk about like Northern and Southern California are going to split into two states. They're going to call this other one California. County of Sacramento, the Superior Court of the State of California in and for the County of Sacramento. People of the State of California to TD Souney, TD and EC Souney, TD EC Souney, EC LD Souney, EC and LD Souney, and also all other persons unknown claiming any right, title, estate, lien, or interest in the real property described in the complaint adverse to plaintiff's ownership or any cloud upon plaintiff's title thereto. Greetings. You are hereby notified that an action was commenced in the Superior Court of the State of California in and for the County of Sacramento by filing a complaint in the clerk's office of said court on the 20th day of April 1914, in which action Edward C. Souney and Ella A. Baker are plaintiffs and you are defendants. You are hereby directed to appear and answer said complaint within 10 days from the service of this summons, exclusive of the day of service if served on you in the County of Sacramento, and within 30 days exclusive of the day of service if served elsewhere. And you are further notified that unless you so appear and answer within the time specified, the plaintiffs will take judgment for any money or damages demanded in the complaint as arising upon contract, or will apply to the court for any other relief demanded in the complaint. That said action is brought to determine the adverse claims to and clouds upon the title of all that real property situated in the city of Sacramento. County of Sacramento, State of California, known, designated, and described as lots number 1, 2, and 3 in blocks K of Highland Park Tract, designated on the plat of said tract, made by J.C.
Drink.
Oh, thank you, Coco, for the hydrate. I definitely need that, and thank you for the posture check. I am trying not to shrimp right now, but I definitely feel like I need some water after all of this legalese. That I think I have an understanding of what's going on. I think. Okay. So wait, so lots numbers 1, 2, and 3 in block K of Highland Park Tract, and designated on the plat of said tract, made by J.C. Pearson and filed in the office of the County Recorder of the County of Sacramento on October 11th, 1887. The object of said action is to obtain the judgment of said court that all adverse claims to and all clouds upon plaintiff's title or their respective titles to the real property described in the complaint as to the several parcels therein described as owned by or in possession of the several plaintiffs respectively be determined. That said defendants, known and unknown, have not, nor has any of them, any right, title, estate, lien or interest whatever in or to said real property or any part thereof. That the said plaintiffs are the several respective owners in fee simple of the several parcels of property set forth in said complaint as being owned by the said plaintiffs respectfully, and that they are severally entitled to the possession of the several parcels of real property and every part and parcel thereof as claimed by them, that the said defendants and each of them be forever enjoined and restrained from asserting any claim whatever in or to said real property or any part thereof adverse to said plaintiffs or either of them, and for costs of suit and for such other and further and different relief as to the court may seem meet and proper in the premises. Holy crap, that was a long sentence. Whew, okay, so basically it's a land dispute, and so Edward and to quiet title to real property. So they're saying that they own that land. So Edward and Ella are plaintiffs. So they're saying that they own this property, and that if anybody else is claiming dispute that they own the property, that they need to come forward and say so, and then settle it in court. Otherwise, if they don't come forward, they are going to take full ownership of that land. I'm pretty sure that's what this is referring to. It's some sort of like legal land dispute, ownership dispute. And this is the same, and of course they legally have to put it in the newspaper for like a month, because see, like, this is all the same thing. May 30th, or May 3rd, May 10th, May 17th, May 24th, May 31st, June 7th, June 14th. Wow, they put it in there for a long time. Because it's the same one. Okay, so I guess nothing came of it, because the last one is June 28th, 1914. Yeah, and it's the same thing. Okay, and then there's this other thing. Okay, so from January 18th. Okay, so this is when he died. 1926. Yeah, this is the thing that we've already read. Yeah, and Charles Hoffman. Yeah, because he moved to Oakland. According to the voter records, he moved to Oakland. And according to one of those voter registries, this one, it says it says inmate of Sisters of the Poor. So I'm assuming that, I mean, he has an address, but inmate of Sisters of the Poor is like some sort of like religious like group that helps poor elderly people. So he's receiving assistance basically. And it's the same address as this guy here who's also retired. So yeah, so he unfortunately later in his life looks like he didn't really have much money. That's January 18th. What's this one? Hold on. Because that's the same one. What is this? Deaths. Oh, okay. This is just literally just stating deaths. And that's in the San Francisco Bulletin. And they got his name wrong. Yeah. In Oakland, January 17th, uncle of Thomas E. Roddy of Sacramento, granduncle of Miss William P. Canty and Charles A. Hoffman. Man of Oakland, a native of Pennsylvania. Yep. So yeah, that's him. These all just the same thing? Yeah, these are all just the same. Oh, wait, hold on. This one says something about internment. In Oakland, Edward E. Souney, uncle, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Friends are respectfully invited to attend the funeral service afternoon at 2:30 o'clock from Gromley's Funeral Chapel, where services will be held. Interment St. Joseph Cemetery. That's the same cemetery as his brother and mother. Yeah, so supposedly he's there. But maybe not. So maybe, unfortunately, maybe his grave was lost. I don't know what St. Joseph... Hold on. St. Joseph Cemetery, 21st Street, Sacramento. Okay, yeah, it's a cemetery. Okay, yeah, and like kind of... Because that's... Okay, that's downtown Sacramento, so it's like kind of... Wonder... I doubt it, but... No, there's nothing. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Souney. Yeah, they're listed here. But that's it. Nothing for Charles. Or Edward. Sorry, not Charles. Edward. Huh. Makes you wonder what happened to him. Because unfortunately, yeah, him and his brother didn't have any kids. His siblings had kids, but that's it. I want to see, what is this one? Where are these New Jersey ones? Okay, that's a school one. I was wondering if, like, maybe... And yeah, that's a white elephant thing from 1923. Okay, I was wondering if just, like, maybe because New Jersey is near Philadelphia, that, like, maybe there was an overlap, but it looks like there's not. Okay, so... Let's go back to California. Get rid of the New Jersey one. And let's change it to Thomas and see if there's any different ones. And for Thomas, it would be until 1910, because that's when he died. Okay, there is some stuff that we didn't see before. This is from 1876. This actually mostly looks like new stuff. Okay. Hold on, wait, what is this? What are these? They're gonna be against. against Thomas Souney and wagon harness 2 horses, 10 hogs for $1.46 in cost. Are these like... Are these various like... Hold on. Are these taxes? Because these all say tax, unknown owners, mortgages. I think these are taxes. Hold on. Yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure this is taxes. Okay. Huh. So he owes $1.46 in taxes, roughly. And this is looks like it's the same thing, just reposted in a later newspaper. Yeah. Delinquent tax list. Hold on. Delinquent tax list for 1875, State of California. By virtue of and in accordance with the provisions of the section blah blah blah, Political Code 1, will sell all the property, real and personal, hereinafter described and delinquent for state and county taxes for the year 1865 in front of the courthouse door at the hour of 10 o'clock on the 7th day of February 1866 for gold coin of the United States, each piece or parcel so described, so that the amount of taxes thereunto annexed, together with the 5% and 5 and 50 cents on each lot, piece or tract of land, separately assessed on each assessment of personal property, additional thereunto, and all accumulating costs. So that's what these are. So no, he's selling this stuff for taxes. Ooh, excuse me. I accidentally bumped the microphone there. Against Thomas Souney, wagon harness, 2 horses and 10 hogs. So he's trying to get for $1.46 in costs. Huh. Okay, so that is a little bit more context. Okay, this is like 2 years later. Bills allowed. Adjourn it. Oh yeah, these are like city bills. Thomas Souney, $9. Okay. Not much. And then there's a little few years later in 1882. Samuel Cross to Thomas Souney. Oh wait. West 1/2, Lot 7, O and P. 21st and 22nd Streets. $5. That's the lot. That has to be the lot that they bought. That has to be... Oh, no, not this one. Hold on. It wasn't this one. It was... This is volume 2. Or wait, no, we do want volume 2. Shoot, wait, hold on. Which one was it? Yes, I'm a human. You don't need to verify. Yes, I can click that. I am a human. Hold on. P Street. Okay, 123. think it was page 27. Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay, between... Yeah, because this is 21st and 22nd. Between P and O. Yeah, so that's them buying this lot. Because this was in... Hold on. What year was this one? 1882, yeah. And in the 1880 census, they weren't living there yet. In the 1880 census, they're living, yeah, at 2700 L Street? Yeah, L Street. So they are... So we know now that they bought this property and their machine shop that they have at the back of it right here in around 1882, roughly. Also, I just realized because this is from 1915, this is after Thomas had passed away. So Edward is still running the machine shop. Or still has a machine shop and is still doing stuff in the machine shop almost like 5 years later. Even though his brother, his half of the business, like, who was a business partner with him, he still continued. And this other one from June of 1896. Okay, this is one we already saw. Yeah, we already saw this one. And this one, that's his death. That's his death. Yeah, these are ones that we already... These are all ones that we've already seen. Okay. Let's see if we get rid of the Souney, and we change it to... specifically to Philadelphia. Hold on, okay. Well, their father's name was Daniel. If we get rid of nothing. Okay, what about John? Because apparently John was a brother. Wow, okay, so the only thing here for a John Souney, who was still in Philadelphia at the time, is a court case. City versus John J. Souney. Verdict for defendant by agreement. Hold on. Okay, municipal lien. Huh. Okay, so they basically they made an agreement. So that's the only thing in all of Philadelphia. No date. What if I just change it to Pennsylvania? Maybe. Oops. If I change to Pennsylvania, maybe... Wow, nothing. These guys really did not, like, give us any record of, like, anything. Let's see, okay. What about Edward? Nothing. Thomas. Nothing. And then if I just put just straight Souney, how many results do I get? Do I get like a ton? I mean, okay, 60, 69, but some of them are really old. Oh, okay, wait. Daniel, why was he not coming up? Daniel Souney. Okay, 1849, Public Ledger. Okay, so this shows, yeah, they're there in 1849. List of letters remaining in the Philadelphia post office. Okay, so that's what this is referring to. Okay, so he had letters in the post office. So they're there in 1849. Is there another? Hold on, wait. In the ladies' list, is Mary there? Oh, are they not in ABC order? Oh my god, they're not. It's just all the last names. Okay, well, I don't see... There's no Souney in the women's one, but there is one there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's where a lot of these ones come from. George Souney. Chester Souney. George Souney. R.F. Souney. Oh, here we go. John Souney? Oh no, that's Scurry. It looks like Souney, but because it's so close together and kind of pixely, it looks like Souney. Dang it. Thought we had another John. George. There's a lot of like a George Souney. Yeah, George Souney, who, as far as I know, is not related. Hold on. Wait a second, look at this. Okay, this is Philadelphia Inquirer, 1899. Blacksmith, first class and 2 large boys. 18 to help blacksmith. Souney Bros, Gerard and... Which is interesting, because Souney Bros, they weren't here. They weren't here in 1899, I don't think. 1899... Hold on. Yeah, 1902, they're not there. 1896, they're there. I don't think they would go back for like a... I mean, they could have gone back for like a random year. And then... I think that's just like a coincidence. There's another, like, Souney Bros. And they both happen to be blacksmiths. Because, yeah, they're listed here as blacksmith. They're both listed here as blacksmiths. This is the 1893 directory. And so, I highly doubt that they just randomly... I mean, they could have, but that's just maybe... I mean, we know that there are other Sounies in Philadelphia, so they could not be them. Yeah, 1899. It's this one. Fireman dove to death. And Souney was sent to Pennsylvania hospital. Wait, which Souney is it? Hold on. Continued from first page. James Souney. Okay. No, not our Souney that we're looking for. Yeah, it looks like there was just another Souney Bros that just happened to be in Philadelphia, like at the same time. It was this one. That's a John. Hold on. The embedder's made for in the Hollidaysburg post office. Oh, okay. That's a different Altoona. Okay, this is a different part of Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, that says Altoona. It's not Philadelphia. Yeah, Souney Bros was Tommy Souney. Yeah, by 1926 we know the other Souney isn't around anymore by 1926 because John Souney is not around because he's not listed in Edward's obituary. Hold on, wait. Is there a John here? John Souney. John J. Souney. John. But they're in Connecticut. If one of these was in like Philadelphia, then yes, I would think that it's him. And then there's this George Souney, but that's 1882. That's not. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Souney is not that popular of a name, it turns out. Considering just how few there are. Okay. Let's see then. Okay, so there's nothing there. Okay, I want to look up. I'm gonna do Souney Bros, but I'm gonna do it specifically in California. And I'm gonna quote it. Okay, we do actually have some stuff. Yeah, these look like ads. Hold on. This is their company. Capital Chips. Statement of the condition of the People's Savings Bank is published today. The Souney Bros of Sacramento have filed with the Secretary of State their claim to the trademark Boss Sacramento, California for thrashing machine teeth. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what they were doing. Is this like a similar thing in 1884? Miscellaneous awards in department. Wait, what is this? Fifth department. Awards made at the Park and Exposition Building. Special premiums offered for cut flowers. Although the state fair has been in progress. Oh, it's the state fair, the California State Fair. Okay, it's a state fair, and thank God we don't have anything that's right here. So they won miscellaneous awards in Department 2. Jack for, let's see, Jack for raising wagon, honorable mention. Okay, so they won for their box teeth, diploma recommended. Okay. Hello, Spellscribe. Good to see ya. Long time no see. And coincidentally, I'm doing genealogy research too today. Oh, awesome. I hope you're having good luck in finding what you're trying to look for. we've had it a little rough today. It's been not terrible, but just a lot of not a lot of information considering what I was expecting. It's mostly city directories and voter registries, and the newspapers have actually been giving us a good amount of information. But yeah, but I hope your research is going well too. And it's good to see you here. We're researching the inventors of this terrifying hospital bed. Who apparently were by two guys who were the Souney brothers, and that's what we're currently looking up is newspaper articles of their business. Got a client who thinks he might be descended from Captain Cook's artist from his Australia trip, hitting some dead ends, but also finding some other stuff. So that's cool. That's great. That's really interesting. That's a very specific thing to claim you're a descendant of. Not Captain Cook, but Captain Cook's brother. Or no, sorry, not Captain Cook's. God, brother is just on my mind a lot because we've been dealing with brothers this whole time. Captain Cook's artist. That's cool though. Hopefully, I mean, hitting some dead ends, but hopefully maybe you'll find something. Getting linked to the Adams, not as far as I know. His mother shares a last name and comes from the same area. Client is a very gifted painter. Okay, so yeah, hey, I understand that he would want to know if he's related or not. No, that's really cool. That bed definitely looks like it belongs to the Addams Family player. Honestly, yeah, that's actually very fair. It is very just creepy, coffin-y. With it being Halloween time and everything, I figured, let's try to look up patents and research them that are the ones that are kind of creepy. But also the people who made this were not in any way, the Souney brothers were in no way related to the medical field or anything. They were blacksmiths and machinists, but they worked with specifically threshing machines. Yeah, it's see here, for sale. Cheap, a steam threshing outfit, complete, in good condition. For particulars, address Souney brothers, manufacturers of Boss Teeth. 2109 P Street, that's right. So yeah, so they were very diverse, I guess, in what they made. Okay, that's the same ad again. Same ad again. Same ad. Same ad. Same ad. Oh, please don't tell me a majority of these are just the same ad. It looks like majority of them are the same ad. Yeah, that's the same ad. Same ad. Oh man, I thought we were gonna get more interesting stuff about who these the business that they ran. But nope, we just get the same ad for 2 months. Okay, but there is this. October 1st, 1896. What is this? Home Product Awards, a partial list of fortunate big exhibitors at the Big Fair. A. McLaughlin is unsatisfied with... Yeah, okay. So they displayed stuff. Wood or wooden ironed. Okay, so it doesn't say what they displayed. It's just some wood or wood and iron. So they made something. Probably something maybe threshing machine related. But they still displayed something at... This is probably 1996. Probably the State Fair? That's the problem with like when they refer to like fairs and exhibitions in like newspapers, they never refer them by their official name. It's always just the fair or the exhibition, and it's like, which one is it? There's so many different ones that happen during different times. It's so annoying. I remember I had to look up one time. I had to look up an exhibition that was in Chicago, and it took me like 2 hours to like figure out which exhibition it was, because every newspaper article I could find about it was just called the exhibition, and it wasn't like the famous like 1980 or 1893 like World's Fair or something like that. It was like a more local like exhibition. Ugh. That's what makes this interesting sometimes. It's not always easy. Okay, so yeah, so they're getting their company out there. Wait a second, what is this? Oh my god, we found it! Pat, what? An invalid's revolving bed, invented and manufactured by Souney Bros of Sacramento, attracts considerable attention as its workings and are displayed by the attendant. Oh my god, they actually built it! Exhibition of home products. Los Angeles Daily Times. I almost was going to skip this one because it was Los Angeles. Exhibition of home products. So not only did they file, they actually built it. Wow. Oh, and here's a picture. There's a lithograph of it. General view of the home products exhibition at Hazard's Pavilion from a photo by Graham and Moriel. Wow. That's awesome. That is the only newspaper that we found that like directly, or anything that directly links them to this bed. That's awesome. That's really cool. I'm so glad we were actually able to find that. Wait, no, where'd it go? There we go. I got so many tabs open. Okay. Wow, and they displayed it. Invented and manufactured by Souney Brothers of Sacramento, attracts considerable attention as its workings are displayed by the attendant. Wow. I mean, we still don't know if they actually sold any of them, but we do know that they actually made it. Like, they physically made it, which sometimes with these patents, you never know. You never know if they go beyond, like, just the filing of the patent. But we can also put here, we can put patent and newspaper on our bingo. But yeah, other than that, we don't really have anything else. Because they don't have that big of a record. Okay. Hold on. Exposition of home products, Los Angeles. $1897. No, I can't. I'm trying to look to see if I can find anything in terms of like, uh, trying to find anything in terms of like where this exposition was, or anything like any other information about this exhibition. But unfortunately, with a lot of these smaller ones, more local ones, which is one I think is, it's a little hard to like find any information on them. Okay, hold on. This is an old article. But it does say right here, M&M, which I'm assuming is the company, Merchants and Manufacturers Association, here, stage a home products exhibition in 1897 to promote the purchase of locally produced goods, then leased a building at 138 South Main Street, which ran all the way east to Los Angeles Street, and set up a permanent exhibit there. Space is now part of the Caltrans building. That's what I think this is. Because hold on, does it say? Last evening was larger than any. The program included a number of enjoyable selections. A slide from okay. In the afternoon, 12 girls from the cooking classes of the okay. Is there any information on like who made it though? Communication were read to the stage. Manager, Los Angeles Home Products Exhibition. Yeah, there's nothing in here that says anything about an M&M. Oh, and there were apparently indoor bicycle races. Hazard's Pavilion is apparently what it was called. Hold on. Hold on, wait. Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought I saw something else in when I was searching. Hold on. Hard Pavilion in Los Angeles. Okay. Yeah. Here it is. So apparently this is the building that it was in. Hazard's Pavilion, a large auditorium in Los Angeles, California, at the intersection of 5th and Olive Streets. The venue was built in, so it was brand new when they did this, 1887, at a cost of $25,000. Seat up to 4,000 people. Demolished in 1906, so it didn't last that long, only about 20 years, but that's it. That's what it looked like, apparently. Okay. Let's see, is there, so that was great. I was nervous for a second we weren't going to get anything else. Okay, and this other stuff is 1914, which is interesting because, oh, okay, this looks like it's all the same thing just over and over again. 1914. It's all the same thing for a week in October. So what is this one? Exchange. An opportunity for the right party, if taken before January, in the manufacture of the Boss threshing tooth, established 35 years. Easy terms for particulars. Address Souney Bros, 2109p. So is he selling? Because this is exchange. So maybe he's like selling his company? I think that's what he's doing here. I think he is selling, like, or at least selling, because it says in the manufacture of Boss threshing tooth, established 35 years. Easy terms. Yeah, that's what it looks like. This is 1914. Okay, well that's... Yeah, that's the end of... That's the end of these newspapers, and I think this is where I'm going to have to call it for tonight. Because like I said, I do have to get going and do some stuff. Because like I said, I stream at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. But I had to go early today because of some stuff I have to do tonight. But I think this went really well. At first, I was a little nervous. We got some good newspapers at the end, at least. And we actually found a newspaper. We found an article that specifically mentions, you know, the bed, which doesn't always happen. It's awesome that we actually, and all I had to do is actually look up the company name. They were called the Souney Bros. And again, everything else that they did was threshing, like threshing teeth and like threshing stuff, like related. But this is the only thing that they did outside of that, apparently. And again, it looks like they actually made it. They physically made it. But other than that, we don't really have much information on them. It seems like they never married. Both of them never married. One of them was born in New York. One of them was born in Pennsylvania. They lived in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia for a little bit, but we don't know really what their father did for a living. But I think his thing on the 1880 census with him, the only thing it says I think is laborer. Yeah, labor. Yeah, so we got some information about them, and we know more about I feel like their company and their business than we do about them, like, personally, just based on what we've been able to find. You know, starting with just this creepy bed, and we found, you know, two brothers who honestly they must have had a great relationship if they stayed in business together for so long. For like decades. Well, like that newspaper article said, you know, established 35 years. So for like over 3 decades, they were at least working together. Possibly more. Yeah, and the sister with the kids and all that. Yeah. So yeah, I think we got a good family story with this one. Nothing too crazy, nothing too dramatic, just a good, you know, classic story of a family who worked together to build a company. And it seems like for the most part they were pretty successful. But yeah. Hi TL, good to see you. Unfortunately, you came in at the end of the stream. We are just wrapping up here. researching this like crazy crazy bed. But yeah, because I did have to start early today. Normally I wouldn't. Normally I wouldn't be ending right now, but I do have to get going and do some stuff. So let's go ahead and let's go back. Uh, let's see. Oh, hey Coco, don't come on now. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at my life and being responsible and doing other things. Um, you just wanted to see what would happen. It's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's head back to. Let's head back here. All right. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for today, folks. If you're new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do these history streams every uh, Wednesday and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But sometimes I do guerrilla streams where I stream at random times, you know, whenever I have free time. So if you want to know when I go live next, make sure you go ahead and follow. Um, I make no promises. There is a possibility I'll be live tomorrow afternoon. There's a possibility. I'm not, because tomorrow is a holiday in America. Um, and I don't know when, I don't know if um, I'll be able, if I'll have time or not to do it. Depends on just some stuff that goes on. But I for sure will be streaming on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that stream is going to be the first, I would say, of our official like Halloween-y themed streams, because what we're going to be doing that stream is we are going to be looking up ghost stories in newspapers. We are going to be looking through old newspapers and see if we can find creepy ghost stories. I did this. This was like one of the first streams I ever did back in October last year, when I was just starting streaming, and like maybe like one or two people like showed up ever, like in like the 2 or 3 streams I did this. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that on Wednesday. We're gonna be going through some cool old newspapers and see what creepy ghost stories we can find. But yeah, let's see what else. Oh yes, I do also link down below. I do have a um, my YouTube channel linked if you want to check that out and see some shorts that I've made on some of the stuff that we found on other streams. I also do have a Twitter where sometimes I post stuff on there of like things I'm doing outside of streaming, and just if you want to get updates on like, you know, if stream is canceled or if streams times are different, like today, I'd recommend go following me there as well. But yeah, I think that's that. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can find somebody to raid. Let's see. Let's see who's around. Let's see. Yes, Ghost Stories. I'm really excited for it. It seems like it's gonna be really cool and just really fun. We found some last time. We found some really interesting ones. Let's see. Let's see. This is the part that always takes me the longest to like try and find somebody to raid. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you for that, Coco. I'm just happy the sound alerts are being used. A lot of times I don't think people realize that they're there. Let's see. Let's... Let's see. Let's go ahead. This just seems like a chill stream. We're gonna raid this streamer here called It's Mama Bear. They're just doing a chill, kind of like looks like writing, co-writing stream. So if you're working on something and you want to have something in the background, seems like a good stream. So let's go ahead and let's give them some support. Start that raid. All right. And let's go ahead and do we'll do that for the subscribers, and we'll do this one for followers. All right. So, yeah, that's going to do it for today's stream, folks. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and great rest of your night, day, wherever you are. And you have a good start to your week, especially if you're not, in America and you don't have a holiday tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys for sure Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. It'd be tomorrow, like late afternoon, probably, if I do it. Probably around the same time as I'm doing right now. But yeah, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.